फिर मैं घर आके मैंने अपने फोन पे भी देख लिया because I felt like I needed to rewatch it and understand what is happening, and I really wanted to talk to you about the ending of the movie. I don't want to spoil it, but I have my own theory. So I feel like at
We are
some point,
live
if not
now. We
today,
are live now. Just letting Himanshu, I'll just let you continue. But the film that these guys are talking about is Zone of Interest. Himanshu,
So
continue.
yeah.
all three of us have watched it, by the way. So
Yeah.
maybe we can do a segment towards the end जहाँ पे हम लोग spoil कर देते हैं film को.
थोड़ा सा हम जोन ऑफ इंटरेस्ट की बात करें because even I'm itching to kind of talk about it because
I
भाई
feel like
उसका-
we missed
Yeah.
it. You know, we didn't talk about it
नहीं,
because मैंने
नहीं.
नहीं देखा था, but I
No,
saw
we
it.
didn't miss it. भाई उस टाइम पे हम लोग ने स्पॉइलर की बात ही नहीं की थी क्योंकि उस टाइम किसी ने नहीं देखी होगी I'm
Exactly.
assuming. अभी भी
Yeah.
कम लोगों ने देखी है बट स्टिल एट द एंड ऑफ इट वील डिस्कस द एंडिंग. मुझे भी एंडिंग के बारे में बात करनी है.
ठीक है. Let's.
मतलब I have not मतलब between Aditya and me there are two different theories of the ending. So
मेरे पास भी एक theory है. I don't know if it will match your end theory. So we can talk about it in the end. ठीक है.
चलो सही है. तो anyway, with that, welcome to episode 113 of the Discontent podcast. I'm Aditya Khanna. With me are Bharat Misra
hello.
and Himanshu Arya.
Hi guys.
So, and I just realized I haven't uploaded these episodes on Spotify for the past couple of episodes. So वो भी जाएंगे. तो मैं अभी ऑडियो का क्यू देते देते मेरे को याद आया कि ये भी लोग एग्जिस्ट करते हैं बेचारे जो खाली अपनी हियरिंग पर रिलाई करते हैं.
एक बात बताओ, तुम लोग का लैग आ रहा है? Is this video lagging for you guys?
Yes, it is lagging for me, but I think ये Streamlabs
So
के
on YouTube it is not lagging. On YouTube जैसा मैं देख रहा हूँ उस पर तो मेरे को कोई लैग नहीं दिख रहा. तो मे बी हमारी बातचीत थोड़ी ऐसी होगी बट इस पर कोई लैग नहीं होगा. भरत once again rocking a very fresh new look with a straight up thick mustache and long hair.
It's a mullet.
You have a fade? Oh fuck. This is Animal is in the house. Is this inspired by Animal or what is your...
this is, this is more like I wanted to keep the long hair, but I didn't want to like just do nothing with it. So मैंने एक mullet style किया है. If you guys यहाँ पे see this. Anyway.
You added a nice little fade. Are you one of those... Let's just start on a very normal podcast, non-film podcast जैसे होते हैं. On that note, the kind of conversation जो मेरे Insta for you page पर आती है. तो when you go to the salon, are you one of those people who's like भैया ये सही से करो, ये करो, या आर यू लाइक कि मैं सो रहा हूँ आधे घंटे के लिए या 15 मिनट के लिए, आपको जो करना है आप करो, आप मचा दो?
No, I am usually the latter. I give very specific instructions before the thing, and that's it. That's it. So I'll tell him.
A true director. तेरा prep में ही पूरा गेम तू खेलता है. हाँ. तो on set कुछ बोलने की जरूरत, कुछ फायदा नहीं है. हाँ.
और मैंने 4 फोटोज दिखाई थी उसको. मैंने बैक की फोटो दिखाई, मैंने साइड की, इस साइड की फोटो दिखाई. मैंने कहा भाई ये करना है. Then he went for it.
Nice. What about you, Himanshu? Now that we're on the Men's Monthly magazine conversation.
Yeah, my experience has been that the more ideas you put in the head of that guy, the more he's gonna fuck up. So either you say कुछ मत बोलो, या फिर बस बेसिक बोलो भैया बस इतना छोटा मत काटना. Just tell him कि बस थोड़ा सा लंबा चाहिए, इतना छोटा एकदम शॉर्ट नहीं चाहिए. उतना से because you give any information ना कि ये देखो ये फोटो है, ऐसा चाहिए, यहाँ से ये करो, वैसे वो करो, you will be disappointed. Even he'll be disappointed. It will be not satisfying for anybody.
Yeah.
And I've also realized,
and you never know how much to tip. You know, you never know then after how much to. Sorry, तेरा experience.
Oh, you are tipped.
I have never tipped, bro.
What the fuck, guys? You guys don't tip.
Why? There is a service now. I'm paying
I thought
for the
a barber tip is like a pretty common.
नहीं मतलब but तू कितना
I think मैं नाई से कटाता हूँ इसलिए.
अच्छा ओके. नहीं मेरे वाले में एसी भी होता है और पीछे टीवी भी लगा होता है तो हाँ
उतना है.
हाँ तो फिर क्या सेम ही तो हुआ भाई, फिर क्या है.
पर तू कितना देता है? Let's say okay, how much do you give for a haircut?
My guy charges 200.
Still one strata above at least me. Like
what do
this
you?
Took me, the shave and the haircut took me like 150 kind of a thing.
वाह, ये तो बहुत रीजनेबल लग रहा है. मेरा डबल है तेरा ब्रो, बट लाइक शेव एंड हेयर कट इज 300.
तू गुवाहाटी में 300 रुपए दे रहा है. this guy has
भाई
really
ये मैंने
cornered the
देखा है
market.
स्मॉल टाउन्स में ना थोड़ा ज्यादा है क्योंकि वहां पे मुझे क्या लगता है कि
I
इतनी
think
डिमांड
अच्छे वाले कम होंगे फिर वहाँ पर.
हाँ
यहाँ पर
कम
हर
है,
दूसरी
हाँ।
दुकान अच्छी वाली है. तो
यहाँ पे एक्चुअली अच्छे वाले सब एकदम हाई एंड है, मतलब 1500 का हेयर कट मिलेगा तेरे को,
या
तो
भाई
वहां तक तो जा नहीं
haircut
सकते,
is
बी
really
ब्लंट
like
एंड ऑल तो जा नहीं सकते।
haircut is a lot like camera, you know, like you there is no ceiling to the expense that you can make over there. Like तुम कितना भी पैसा खर्चा. मेरा actually I have a very elaborate this thing dance that I have been playing for the last few times because तो मैंने बहुत सालों तक कम से कम 6 से 8 साल same guy same salon. Okay, I in the beginning I gave him instruction every now and then I went and उसको पता है exactly क्या करना है. I don't have to open my mouth. I go in with earphones, I leave with earphones. No conversation required. Great relationship. एक दिन क्या हुआ? He was a little busy and I was in a hurry. So there was another guy and he was like मैं कर देता हूँ and I was like fuck it, I'll just do it. Now the thing is he did it much better than that guy. Okay. So ever since then, whenever I go, I don't ask for preference anymore. So my original guy, he has been so offended. Now he doesn't cut my hair at all, even if I ask. वो कुछ ना कुछ बोल देता है मेरे को. So it's been a very elaborate dance. So nowadays I have a fascinating relationship with my barber. Anyway.
मेरा उल्टा होता है पता है,
हाँ.
आई एम इन अ सिमिलर स्पॉट, आई गेट कट बाय वन गाय, बट उसी बार्बर शॉप में ना एक सेकंड गाय है, एंड दैट सेकंड गाय ना ही इज आई गॉट माय हेयर कट बाय हिम वंस एंड ही फक्ड इट अप। तो अब मैं जब भी घुसता हूँ ना वो दूसरा बंदा खड़ा हो जाता है कि भैया, एंड आई जस्ट लुक अवे, आई एम लाइक नॉट यू नॉट यू, एंड देन आई गो बैक टू भैया आप हो ना शबीरदा, आप हो ना फ्री, आई कॉल हिम अप, आई कॉल हिम अप, भैया फ्री हो ना, कितने बजे फ्री हो बताओ मैं तभी आऊंगा।
Yeah. Nobody wants to fuck around with hair, man. Come on. Except for Bharat, who's clearly very experimental. So, anyway, that's a great start to today's podcast and appropriate because we are going to talk about an event that is often shrouded in, performativeness, like the Oscars. So, much
Very
like
good
what we...
plug.
Yeah,
क्या
no?
plug है?
क्या मतलब इसको segue इसको बोलते हैं, ठीक है? तो yeah, so how was the Oscars for you guys? Was it predictable? Which ones were predictable for you guys? Which ones were shockers? I mean, the biggest shocker I think for everyone was Emma Stone winning Best Actress. So maybe we can start from that point. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean not shocker, but ऐसे मतलब the question on her मतलब deservingness was there. वो तो मैंने मतलब even I had some doubts because everybody was expecting Lily Gladstone to win, and even I thought कि we would go in that direction. I hoped कि Killer would get something,
Yeah.
which was
कुछ भी नहीं
the
मिला ना?
biggest snub. Yeah.
How many times has Scorsese been nominated for literally everything and not won anything? You know?
Yeah.
मतलब it is
Bro, Wolf of Wall Street को भी कुछ नहीं मिला, which
Wolf
is
of Wall Street. I think the same thing happened with Goodfellas को supporting मिला था जो पेशी को, but I don't think उसके अलावा. By the way, now that we're talking about Oscar, have you all seen Joe Pesci's acceptance speech?
Very one of the
Oscars
best.
का. हिमांशु तूने देखी है?
देखिए एक short one ना,
वो आता
It
है
was my
ऐसे
pleasure.
करता है, it's been a pleasure, thank you. It's the most Joe Pesci speech ever. तो yeah,
But
एक तो मार्लन ब्रेंडो का वीडियो बहुत फेमस है जिसमें
What was that? I don't
इंडियन an Indian comes up and
a
talks about the genocide.
native American Indian हाँ मैं भाई native American.
ठीक है यार, वो लोग भी बोलते हैं, अब क्या बोले।
नहीं इंडियन गलत बोलते हैं, तेरे को पता है ना?
अब वो हो गया है, मतलब अब वो लोग भी थोड़े woke हो गए, वो लोग कहते नहीं इट्स नॉट इंडियन।
नहीं ये तो नया नहीं, ये तो बहुत पुराना ये कॉन्वर्सेशन है कि भाई इंडियन थोड़ी ना, ये उल्टा इनफैक्ट आई थिंक was it was some philosopher or some very great writer who had said that I prefer calling Native Americans Indians because it is a display of how stupid the white people were, that उनको कि इनको सालों को पता नहीं कि लोग दूसरे end of the world में हैं और दूसरे and they thought they were somewhere else completely. So yeah. I think it was Marlon Brando ka, I know what you're talking about, that when he rejected the
he didn't
Oscar.
accept it.
Yeah
He rejected it.
He rejected it
Which
for
movie was it for?
Godfather, I think. गॉडफादर के लिए बेस्ट एक्टर एंड ही रिजेक्टेड इट एंड उसने आके बोला था दैट आई डोंट वांट टू ईदर गॉडफादर और अपोकलिप्स नाउ बट दो बोथ दोज मूवीज केम वेरी क्लोज टू ईच अदर तो पता नहीं कब I mean, what a fucking time Coppola was having in the early. Abhi Coppola is making a comeback, right, with Metropolis.
Yeah,
which is
Megapolis.
Sorry. Metropolis to Fritz Lang ki hai. So, actually, one of my other favorite Oscars के कितने सारे moments हुए हैं अभी last 3-4 सालों में सबसे ज़्यादा sensational वाले हुए हैं but in the earlier moments Michael Moore का जो speech था, do you guys remember after Fahrenheit 9/11?
I don't know.
तो Fahrenheit 9/11 के जब वो डॉक्यूमेंट्री ऑस्कर जीता था ही स्पोक टू ऑल द अदर नॉमिनीज उसने उनसे बात की दैट आर यू ओके विद व्हाट आई एम अबाउट टू से एंड दे सेड येस एंड दे केम विद हिम टू द स्टेज व्हेन ही वेंट टू रिसीव उसको पता था उसको मिल रहा है अपेरेंटली वो सबको लेके गया साथ में एंड आफ्टर ही रिसीव्ड द अवार्ड ही सेड कि वी आर अगेंस्ट यू मिस्टर बुश you are unjustified in this war. This is right when the Iraq war was had just started, the war on terror. So that was मतलब उसने it was a crazy and half the audience is booing and half the audience is clapping. It was a crazy moment and yeah, it was just really cool. We have by the way we have a super chat from Kevin Wilson who has said, hey guys, big fan of the podcast. Here is my share for being consistent. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, man. That's
being
really
consistent
nice. Pays us a little bit.
I also really like the name, you know. Kevin Wilson is such a classy name.
Kevin Wilson is a solid name. Kevin from Home Alone, so one of my favorite
movies. It's like Suits, na? Like if you Jessica and I don't know.
It's like jab tu jail mein and there is some guy like if you're in jail for a murder that you're sure you've committed and a guy shows up who's a lawyer and he's like, I'm Kevin Wilson. You're like, okay, good. I think I'm in good hands. You know, it's one of those solid names. So yeah. Even Scorsese, Amanpreet said even Scorsese was clapping for him. Yes, Scorsese ka bhi mast hai. When he was saying that, like whatever, fuck you, Mr. Bush or whatever, तभी Scorsese started clapping और तभी उससे camera काट दिया. It's a very cool video. Yeah. It's nice. Lots of people here on the chat as well. Shaurya Pathak. By the way, Shaurya Pathak को मैंने it's so random. I follow the Great Cricketer and उन लोग का वो लोग एक ask section करते हैं अपने podcast के end में और उसमें शौर्य का question था. मैं बोला भाई ये देख ये आदमी podcast पर ही comment कर रहा है हर जगह. ये हर podcast पर इसने comment करने का वो ठान लिया. But it was good to see some random connections. Yeah, so we were talking about the Oscars. Coming back to this year's Oscars, I personally really loved Emma Stone's performance. I think in a year when there was Sandra Huller and with that crazy performance in Anatomy of Fall, Lily Gladstone. In fact, I would say, मैं जब भी सोच रहा हूँ इसके बारे में और भी ज़्यादा, I would have really preferred if this was Sandra Huller's award because I've watched Killers of the Flower Moon again, you know, and Lily Gladstone is amazing, but that the performance that Sandra Huller pulls off in Anatomy of a Fall, bhai, not a single, matlab, there is still a debate. Whereas the story is so clear, in my opinion, the story is very clear, but uska performance itna acha hai that there is still a debate or whether she did it or she did not do it. You know?
Yeah, even I think I would have been happiest had she won. But yeah, these two were not equal. मतलब equal क्या बोले, but equal deserving I felt, Lily and Emma, in my opinion. So I didn't feel bad, but because I really enjoyed Emma Stone's performance and especially her, I think the earlier bits where she leans into the comedy.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Even,
and I genuinely like performances winning for comedy more than.
It's rare.
That is like. Yeah, it's rare. I really would have loved also had this guy won for best actor, best supporting actor, right? Poor Things में जो है यार अपना
William Dafoe.
Mark Ruffalo or William Dafoe?
वो Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. Yeah.
Because his was such a beautiful comedic performance, right? I loved it. So yeah.
I mean, Poor Things as a movie, and हमने इसके बारे में last time बात की, तो I won't go on about it. But Emma Stone's performance in that movie, again, I can understand why. जैसे हमारे group पर भी अविनाश जैसे who came last time on the podcast, he also was he did not A lot of people did not like a performance, said it was very basic, but I think um, doing the simple thing is very, very difficult, you know. And
Yeah.
this is a very simple role. It is literally a simple person's role, if I am to use a very old offensive term, you know, in
Yeah.
that context. So
Simple Jack.
simple person, simple minded, whatever. So it's that kind of a role, and it is always a thin line. A lot of actors, there is a reason why it is called an Oscar bait role, right?
Yeah.
If you do a mentally challenged person, if you do a physically challenged person, there is more likelihood that you're, because it is hard to do those things. It's वो,
Yeah.
क्योंकि अगर तुम बुरा करोगे तो एक सेकंड में वो
पकड़ा जाएगा.
पकड़ा जाता है, and it'll look horrible, and it'll look offensive. You go into another category of bad acting, you know.
Yeah.
So I think I totally get why they gave it to her, but yeah, Sandra Huller and Lily Gladstone were.
Yeah, I saw Sandra Bullock's performance in Zone of Interest, and I feel like Zone of Interest overall got snubbed.
क्या
It
बात
won
करें,
the
best
foreign film.
Best international feature
भाई साहब
I
ने
get you, I get you.
देखा ही नहीं ऑस्कर.
and best
नहीं
sound.
देखा है मैंने, देखा है. Best sound, हाँ, sound तो bro.
साउंड तो मिलना ही था, साउंड तो
मिलना ही था.
Despite whatever the ending is, which we'll talk about later, but Himanshu, what did you think of the film? Because you've not told us कि कैसी लगी तुझे film.
नहीं bro, it was like shaking. And the thing is, so many World War and Holocaust movies have come out. At some point, na, you kind of you realize these are just movies, right?
Yeah.
And again, it becomes like part of the backdrop, like how Auschwitz is in this movie. But then this movie is so different, and it's made so different. It's like a documentary. It's not even a doc. It's literally, matlab, fly on the wall. Itna no music, just what you would. Matlab, it's so different from any other movie that I think it did its job perfectly well, and it will stay. Like
I think so.
In the, like, suppose 2 years, 3 years later down the line, you'll probably talk about the Zone of Interest more than Poor Things, in my opinion.
Also,
Yeah,
it is a novel and very interesting way for an independent filmmaker to tell a period film, a period story on a budget. I think it's a great example of ingenuity in the way you tell a story, that तुम्हारा budget जितना भी लो हो, तुम एक बहुत बड़ी चीज़ अगर दिखा नहीं सकते हो तो सुना सकते हो कम से कम. It is one of those things.
Also, in the novel, the novel is very different. I read it. First of all, it's a dark comedy. Okay. So the novel is a comedy, and it kind of derives comedy from. So there's a fictitious element in the novel, which is that one of the story is told through the perspective of one of the Auschwitz officers, like a junior officer, and he is in love with this lady, the lady of the house,
Right.
and it's their kind of love story happening while this whole thing is happening. So the perspective is different in the book. It's a very good adaptation, I would say. Very much like, and that brings me kind of to my like biggest upset for this year was not even nominating Killers of the Flower Moon for adapted screen.
That was ridiculous. That was fucking ridiculous. I mean,
उसको
such
nominate
a
क्यों करते थे?
and ये हमने पहले भी बोला था that a book like that which has so
Yeah.
much of history attached to it, तुमको उसको adapt करना है, and they took a very brave call to not make it a mystery, to make it into a a pretty open out sort of proper storytelling कि तुमको सब पता है and you're just witnessing something happening. I think that was also a very good call. Great writing as always, as you can expect in a Scorsese movie. Just crazy. पता नहीं क्या इनको दिक्कत है Scorsese से लाइफ में कि बस दिया भी तो Departed के लिए दिया, which is, I mean, I don't want to, I love The Departed, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, but come on, like are we being real? For a guy with Taxi Driver, King of Comedy, मतलब Raging Bull, Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street, मतलब the list is endless. Silence, Killers, Irishman, everything. So anyway.
तेरा favorite movie कौन सा था वो? After Midnight? नहीं, what I'm
After Hours.
forgetting the name.
After Hours. What a fucking great movie.
Yeah, we saw that together, I think. You showed it to me.
मैंने तेरे को दिखाई थी,
हाँ.
Which was, After Hours is one of those, it was almost like Scorsese in that period in the 80s after Raging Bull. There was, I think, King of Comedy or After Hours साथ साथ में around the same time आई थी. It was one of his like, it was his moment जैसे अनुराग कश्यप अगली और रामन राघव 2.0 बना दिया ना फटाफट आफ्टर फेलियर ऑफ बॉम्बे वेलवेट, सॉरी हाँ बॉम्बे वेलवेट. तो इट्स लाइक कि चलो अच्छी अच्छी मूवीज भी आ गई गलती से, छोटी वाली. सो या I think what other Oscars? Oppenheimer. Let's talk about Nolan.
Let's go through the thing again, na, the wins.
Yeah, sure.
कोई page खोल फिर भरत
I can open the winners list in front of me right now.
I think Robert Downey Jr. winning, everybody kind of agreed that was a great performance. Even I think so.
Yeah.
You all have a
मैंने Oppenheimer फिर से देखा तो I
अच्छा.
thought हाँ, and I watched it with my parents and I kept pausing to explain to them. I thought it was required क्योंकि Oppenheimer एक तो मैं बताऊँ सोनी लिव पे है. English subtitles नहीं है.
सोनी लिव पर है.
नहीं I think Z में है, Z5 में.
I shouldn't
and
say shit actually.
subtitle नहीं है. No, English में है और subtitle नहीं है. ठीक है. It's already very tough to hear the movie and then my parents said यार समझ नहीं आ रहा तो अब क्या करें. तो मैंने बोला आपको मैं हिंदी डब सुना सकता हूँ अगर आपको मैंने हिंदी डब लगाया और हिंदी डब इतना गंदा डबिंग और इतना कट आउट है उसमें. बहुत सारे जितने भी जो सीन्स थिएटर में देखे ना हमने वो सीन्स OTT में कट आउट है. लाइक दैट भगवत गीता सीन इज नॉट देयर.
है ही नहीं
है जो कि थिएटर में था.
मूवी सीन ही नहीं है.
सीन ही नहीं है भाई.
So it's just कि you remember the movie, right? They meet in a party and then they basically have sex and they're talking and then she does the thing, right?
Yeah.
She gets up and takes the book out. It's just like they have sex and khatam. Cut to next scene.
Do you guys know what Slavoj Zizek said about that scene? And the offense that people know, don't repeat it right now.
I'm not gonna repeat
Nobody repeat it because we will fucking get arrested if we say it. But you guys can look up what Slavoj Zizek said about that scene. So yeah, winners are Cillian Murphy, Best Actor. I think deserved. No opinions or arguments there.
Paul Giamatti. A lot of people were saying that
holdovers, na? I think so too. मुझे लग रहा है he did a really good performance and I related very hard, but I think that's also thoda bias hai. The
boarding school connection.
Yeah.
Best Picture, Oppenheimer. So yeah, but let's just talk about that. Nolan winning Best Director and Best Picture.
Rasagulla.
Nolan winning Oppenheimer के लिए वो जीत गया दोनों. I think this is his first win ever at the Oscars.
Yeah. Bro 20 साल से मूवी बना रहा है, 8-9 मूवीज बना चुका है, अब जीता है.
पर मुझे फिर भी लगता है कि ये डिजर्व्ड फिल्म के लिए जीता है. मतलब श्योर बाकी फिल्मों के लिए भी डिजर्व करता है बट ओपेनहाइमर के लिए भी करता है डिजर्व से.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's not a Revenant.
It's not a Revenant, it's not a Departed situation, कि तुम इंसान को बस अवार्ड दे रहे हो फिल्म.
Honorary नहीं है ये.
Exactly.
But so far, maybe I'm alone in this, but so far I haven't had the urge to watch Oppenheimer again, which मैंने Killers of the Flower Moon वापस देखी, Anatomy of Fall, Poor Things दोनों I know I will watch again, Zone of Interest too, but Oppenheimer के लिए मुझे तो मन नहीं किया वापस देखने का, because मुझे एक ही मूवी है नोलन की actually genuinely जो मैं बार बार देखना मुझे बहुत मज़ा आता है, which is purely for the filmmaking of it, which is Dunkirk. क्योंकि एंड आई फील लाइक डंकर्क में एटलीस्ट डायरेक्शन के लिए उसको मिलना चाहिए था. आई डोंट नो हु वाज अगेंस्ट हिम इन दैट ईयर और इफ ही वाज इवन नॉमिनेट तो हुआ होगा, बट
डंकर्क को भी काफी स्नब हुआ था.
क्विंटन टैरेंटिनो गॉट ना दैट ईयर. आई थिंक वंस अपॉन अ टाइम वाला ईयर है क्या?
हाँ, बट बेस्ट डायरेक्टर आई डोंट नो.
आई थिंक इट्स द सेम ईयर एज वंस अपॉन अ टाइम. But I don't know who's against.
Possible.
Also, I remember Dunkirk के लिए शायद वो nominate पता भी हुआ भी था कि नहीं, but yeah. But anyway.
But Dunkirk में the way that he shot those scenes, especially the airplane scenes and the claustrophobia of war at moments and the confusion of war, the way he shot it was really really cool. Del Toro won that year.
Fuck him. For Shape of Water, जो fish loving movie. Yeah,
I think I am in the minority there. I really like that film. I've seen that like thrice.
I couldn't finish it. Matlab, not because I hated it or anything. I was just not into it at all, I guess. So
You didn't
yeah.
like The Shape of Water.
I didn't like The Shape of Water.
तो
Too wet.
फालतू था
Too
यार.
wet for me.
क्या फालतू
So,
कुछ
yeah.
भी ऐसे क्या फालतू था क्या मस्त
शेप ऑफ वाटर कौन देखता है? आज किसी ने बोला है आज के डेट में कि मैंने शेप ऑफ वाटर देखा है, कोई बात ही नहीं करता उसके बारे में.
हाँ मतलब आई थिंक इन रेट्रोस्पेक्ट पैसिफिक रिम की ज्यादा बात होती है देन शेप ऑफ वाटर फॉर श्योर.
या और उसके बाद आई थिंक क्रिम्सन पीक करके एक था डेल टोरो का, व्हिच आई पर्सनली लाइक बेटर देन शेप ऑफ वाटर.
Crimson Peak कब आई थी? काफी पहले
आई थी बीच में. ये नाइटमेयर एली भी उसकी है क्या?
नाइटमेयर एली इज आल्सो डेल टोरो's, I think. Yeah.
Green
and
Book.
It's not a bad movie. It's an adaptation, and I saw the first film. I think it's a black and white movie, if I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's a black and white.
You
I
know
saw
what
that one.
was-
अरे अब याद नहीं आ रहा, but I saw that original one also, and it's a very good adaptation of the thing. It's cut to cut only.
I remember the year Silver Linings Playbook 1. I was so pissed off. I was like, what the fuck? Who has ever bought up this movie since it released? Even Green Book जैसे जीती उसका तो बहुत
Green
मजाक
Book,
उड़ाया था. Student Union is with us. Lal salam to you also, brother. But comrade Student Union. But Student Union तो कोई भी हो सकता है. NSU है, ABVP भी हो सकता है, क्या मालूम. But हाँ तो या lots of, but Nolan को देना ही था, and I'm happy उसको ये वाली मूवी के लिए दिया. और मतलब yeah, you're right. मतलब it's not a departed situation. It's a pretty appropriate. It's like Scorsese winning for Goodfellas kind of a thing. So yeah, pretty cool.
Pan's Labyrinth is Del Toro's best according to Mascara, and even I think so.
Pan's Labyrinth is his best, I would say. Yes.
Student Union,
But
film student है. Anyway, sorry. हाँ.
but
Good,
मुझे
yeah, nice film student.
उसका Hellboy याद है तुम लोगों को? Hellboy भी
Hellboy याद है.
I loved Hellboy 1
I
and 2,
watched
bro.
it
They
on
both are
TV.
very well done.
हाँ, very cool movie.
And even
उसका-
today they look better than the recent movies. Like they
Practical
work.
effects. Again, Hellboy had the really
right,
it was तभी
right,
उसकी वही बात होती थी ना, that उसका जो मेकअप था, it was very very elaborate and very cool. Yeah. I think इस साल ही आएगी उसकी, because we are talking about Del Toro, तो मेरे को दूसरा बंदा याद आ गया, अपना ऑस्ट्रेलियन, वो मैड मैक्स वाला.
Peter Jackson नहीं, अच्छा sorry.
पीटर जैक्सन नहीं, जॉर्ज मिलर.
George Miller, yeah.
उसकी
Furiosa.
Furiosa is also coming this year, so I think I'm most excited for that, because after Mad
Yeah.
Max Fury Road, it is really.
उसके
Yeah.
बीच में एक और आई थी ना जो लोगों को उतनी पसंद नहीं आई, मैंने भी नहीं देखी वो. That genie one, the one there was a genie, a black
Aladdin.
guy. Idris Elba was in it, or one of
Wait,
the
are you
actors?
talking about Aladdin? जिसमें वो बना था, विल स्मिथ बना था जीनी,
नहीं,
नए वाले अलादीन में.
1000 years of longing or some shit like that.
Okay.
हाँ. I think it was based on some book, or it was like थोड़ा experimental था. At least
Experimental
that's what I
like it.
heard. Yeah.
And it has Tilda, if I'm not mistaken, Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, her or Kate Blanchett, one of them.
कितने खराब है
Interchangeable.
भाई हम लोग.
हाँ.
1000
The Boy and the Heron, Hayao Miyazaki's comeback after 10 years, best animated feature. Did anyone watch it? I am dying
कहाँ
to
देख
watch it.
सकते हैं? कहाँ देख
Same.
सकते हैं?
I'm really
एक तो
dying
वो,
to watch it.
दूसरा Godzilla -1. हम लोग सब मतलब बस सुन ही रहे हैं.
भाई
ट्रेलर
Tilda
देख ली. Tilda ना, हाँ. We just hearing the names. We'll never get to see it. मुझे तो ऐसा लग रहा है Godzilla -1 तो शायद ही इंडिया को पूरा skip ही कर दिया उन्होंने.
मई में आ रही है तुम्हारे होम वीडियो पे. So
अच्छा.
Nice.
ठीक
Which
है,
one are you
May.
talking about?
Suppose
Boy
almost
and the
6
Heron.
महीने बाद आएगी. Almost 6 महीने बाद.
01 क्या 0 year.
Godzilla -1.
एक सेकंड, तो बॉय एंड द हेरोइन अब तक किसी को पता नहीं कि आई है कि नहीं ना.
वो किसी को नहीं पता. और सिमिलर इन द सिमिलर वेन जो VFX के लिए जीती है वो फिल्म अभी तक कहीं नहीं है. मतलब
वाओ.
जापान के बाहर कहीं नहीं है, आई थिंक. या फिर
Fucking-
अमेरिका में आ गई. अमेरिका में
I
भी
think अमेरिका में रिलीज हो गई होगी.
ए भरत,
नहीं.
जब मामी चल रहा था तब ये डॉक्यूमेंट्री 20 days in Mariupol लगी थी मामी में.
हमने नहीं देखी.
तूने देखी? मेरे को तेरे को पूछना, because it won best documentary, and even during Mami
Correct.
everyone was talking about 20 days in Mariupol. It was on Ukraine के ऊपर.
Oh.
Now it will be interesting to see कि अगले साल के ऑस्कर पे if there is any Palestinian documentary, whether it gets nominated and whether it wins or not.
घंटा
Yeah. And
ये फुल भाई
on that note, I think we should talk about Zone of Interest once again, but not the film. हमने उसके पे काफ़ी चर्चा कर ली, but बेस्ट इंटरनेशनल फीचर पे जॉनथन ग्लेजर ने जो स्पीच दी ऑन
वो
दैट
कट हो गई ना,
ऑल्सो
कट हो गई ना,
कट नहीं हुई,
पता नहीं, मैंने देखी नहीं.
पर तुमने
Cut
देखी,
तो नहीं।
भरत तूने देखी वो स्पीच?
हाँ मैंने देखी थी. कोई कुछ मतलब मेरे में तो कुछ
नहीं,
कट
nothing
नहीं
got cut, nothing got cut. But he basically professed solidarity with the Palestinian cause.
And I was quite it was not like surprising because it's kind of, at least for me, the film was very clearly about, it can be at least about that.
Yeah.
मतलब बनी थी
Yeah.
उसके पहले, but yeah, it applies to that situation as well.
applies to it.
In fact, it applies way more to this situation. And the timing of a film like Zone of Interest is very interesting because you know, a lot of people judge the Nazis for back in the day for not doing enough. कि तुम लोग क्या कर रहे थे, तुम लोग बैठे हुए थे and you all did not show your opposition or whatever to the Nazis when they were carrying out their killing machine. But right now, where the leaders of the world, with America vetoing ceasefire constantly and everything that's going on, and अब तो it's even more stark. अब तो it is so obvious कि तुम अगर scroll कर रहे हो इंस्टा पर तो 4 में से एक स्टोरी या 2 स्टोरी होती है अबाउट पैलेस्टाइन और अबाउट यूक्रेन और वेरेवर इन द वर्ल्ड, बट उसके बाद कोई ठुमका लगा रहा होता है. तो इट्स जस्ट लाइक very disorienting, and I'm not saying I'm not judging one or the other or whatever. I'm just saying कि it's to watch it is very surreal, you know, and to live through that. Very, very interesting film for that reason alone, I think. Oppenheimer.
The filmmaking, it deserved it, yeah. The best international, clearly deserved.
मैंने एक ही और देखी है बेस्ट इंटरनेशनल में, which was interestingly the German entry, which is the Teacher's Lounge.
How's that?
Very good film. It is, I mean, I would, मतलब Zone of Interest तो अलग लेवल की है, but वो फिल्म भी बहुत अच्छी है. You guys should really watch it. And I think I've recommended it on the podcast before.
ठीक है.
So yeah.
So Robert Downey Jr. winning Best Supporting Actor. I actually disagree with both of y'all. You guys were in favor of this.
नहीं, I agree. It's a honorary thing ना.
नहीं,
it's
हाँ.
not. What are you talking?
एक बार मैं खाली अपना पॉइंट में रख दूँ इस पर कि वो
हाँ.
फर्स्टली रॉबर्ट De Niro, ठीक है, he was also nominated for this and his performance is crazy. That scene towards the end in Killers of the Flower Moon where he's in the jail with him, it is a stunning performance. I think it's more like कि अब तो everyone thinks he's मतलब retired, तो आप तो मतलब खाली अपना टाइम पास करने आते हैं, इसीलिए आई थिंक नहीं दिया, बिकॉज रॉबर्ट डॉनी जूनियर्स परफॉर्मेंस was not something, looking back at it, I did not love it exactly. He played the same guy which he plays in every movie, it seems, you know. From Natural Born Killers onwards, जितना मैंने उसका देखा, एक्सेप्ट फॉर चैपलिन जिसमें उसने बहुत ही अलग टाइप का परफॉर्मेंस दिया था, बट he played a very similar smooth operator kind of role in this movie, in Oppenheimer. Also, you know, in this role, जो उसका स्टार्क वाला जो रोल है, it has similar shades. In addition, मेरे को सबसे ज़्यादा अनोइंग पार्ट लगा ओपेनहाइमर में, खाली एक दो जगह ही मेरे को थोड़ा अनोय हुआ, और उनमें से एक था जब ये ऑलमोस्ट कैमरा को देख के बात कर रहा होता है ना अबाउट कुछ, तो अपने बड़े से प्लान्स बता रहा होता है, एंड it's like his peak whatever villainy moment or whatever the fuck. It just was very cringe to me. मतलब एक तो that moment did not deserve that speech, you know, because a lot of Oppenheimer is also a very interesting movie because it's like the entire movie, एक साइड पे न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब है, दूसरे साइड पे the stake of the movie is कि इसको सिक्योरिटी क्लियरेंस मिलेगा कि नहीं. It is not a very high stakes thing to begin with, you know. It is not super something that average person would have a lot of investment in personally.
No,
you know?
I don't think so.
How does it matter if somebody has security clearance 15
because
years
he
after?
founded that commission, right? Like
it's if you're following the character, if you're following what it means to the character, right? Security clearance was just a thing about, भाई इसने facility setup किया है, इसने तुम्हें bomb बना के दिया है, और तुम आज उसकी security clearance छीन रहे हो because you think he's a communist. Right?
I think it makes sense in the ये हमने Oppenheimer का भी discussion था, तब मैंने I think ये same चीज़ बोली थी, that even then while I was watching the movie मेरे को ये feeling नहीं आई. Only when I was thinking back about it, I'm like, it's not in terms of big stakes in what we're following this movie, it doesn't seem as high as the rest. But anyway, तो मेरे को रॉबर्ट डाउनी जूनियर का उतना खास नहीं लगा, but Bharat, I think you really liked his performance. So
I liked his performance a lot because I felt ki his performance added the most to the character rather than anything else. Like there are performances which, I mean, there are parts which are elevated by the writing or by the direction or by the kind of whatever, how to portray it. But I thought just solely in terms of how he interpreted those lines and he kind of spoke it, I disagree that he was like Tony Stark, because Tony Stark, at least on paper, he's supposed to be like a know-it-all, and he's always very secure about, हाँ मुझे तेरे से ज़्यादा पता है, तू चुप हो जा. यहाँ पे it's the opposite. He's always feeling inadequate. He's like, ऐसा मुझ में क्या है जो उसमें है, मतलब मुझ में क्या नहीं है जो उसमें है.
हाँ, चक दे इंडिया वाला डायलॉग बेसिकली, जो आइंस्टाइन को बेसिकली वो करता है कि ऐसा क्या है उसमें जो मुझ में नहीं है.
Also थोड़ा ego hurt होता है उसका. I think his whole arc is ego hurt हो गया. छोटी-छोटी बातों पे ego hurt हो गया.
I'll tell you a technical detail of Robert Downey Jr. which I found interesting in this movie. I think he has a very specific walk. You know, जैसे बोलते हैं Brad Pitt कुछ खाते रहता है while acting, like he keeps snacking while he's performing. I think Robert Downey Jr. has a very, वो ऐसा एक turn करता है हमेशा. You know, it's a very quirky thing जो मुझे थोड़ा annoy करती है, to be honest. मेरे को थोड़ा Brad Pitt करता सही लगता है वो. मेरे को तो I love watching a snacking Brad Pitt perform. That's a fun thing. Even in Inglourious Basterds वो एप्पल खा रहा होता है वो वाले सीन में जब ये उसको मार रहे होते हैं.
काट के ऐसे स्लाइस करके.
हाँ, correct. स्लेयर ने एक बहुत से, sorry हिमांशु तू बोल.
Sorry, you can continue if you want.
हाँ, तो स्लेयर ने एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बात बोली है, which is a good topic, which we can touch upon. Do you think we don't have good-looking actors like Al Pacino and Cillian Murphy, and there is a sad face? तो बताओ भाई, हमारे बेस्ट लुकिंग एक्टर्स कौन से? प्योरली ऑब्जेक्टिव, मोस्ट ऑब्जेक्टिफिकेशन वाला ऑन लुक्स, प्योरली मेल एक्टर्स.
Dude, Siddharth Malhotra is really good looking.
Bro, come on.
सिद्धार्थ मल्होत्रा भाई, तुम लोग सिर्फ एक सेकंड, तूने कहा एक्टिंग हटा दे ये.
हाँ, मैं एक्टिंग हटा के मैं लुक्स पर बात कर रहा हूँ.
तो भाई वो अच्छा दिखता है यार, क्या बात कर रहे हो, इतना सही लगता है, उसकी बॉडी देखिए.
This is where we all come out. So yeah, हिमांशु तेरे को कौन सा सबसे सही लगता है?
यार शाहिद कपूर in his जब वी मेट and Kismet connection
and Kamine was his
Kamine
days. I think that time there was something crazy with it. I think I was also like fascinated by him, like by the way he looked, his hairstyle and the whole thing.
Mascara कह रहा है सिद्धार्थ मल्होत्रा. आदित्य रॉय कपूर I think is pretty across the board. I think everyone would admit. I think he is one of those people who has pretty privilege. जैसे अभी बोलते हैं ना शुभमन गिल का, तो he stayed, even though Shubman Gill came back into form beautifully, but but in the middle when he wasn't performing, he had a lot of pretty privilege to stay in the team, which is definitely a thing. तो रणबीर कपूर, ऋतिक रोशन,
which
पृथ्वी शॉ का उल्टा है. He has ugly disadvantage. पृथ्वी शॉ भाई, हाँ
ज्यादा फर्क है
नहीं, बहुत फर्क है भाई, जमीन आसमान है. ठीक है, उसका परफॉर्मेंस भी गंदा है और वो दिखता भी उतना अच्छा नहीं है, तो इट्स जस्ट बोथ साइड्स है उसका.
डूड अभी उसने कुछ 6 महीने पहले उसने कुछ 200 बनाया बेचारे ने.
हाँ,
और ऐसे ना उसकी फोटो वायरल हो गई where he is looking really old because first of all
he's bald plus very
and
sad,
he's fat, like,
and he's short, he has the full
short,
package. Yeah.
तो उसकी वो फोटो बेचारे की वायरल कर दी कि ये देखो ये है हमारा.
तो पता है ना वो साईं बाबा की फोटो डालते रहता है अपने इंस्टा स्टोरी पे कि होप यू आर वाचिंग एवरीथिंग. ये सब तेरे को पता ना, ये दिस बिकेम अ थिंग इन लाइक क्रिकेटिंग मीम पेजेस फॉर अ व्हाइल. एनीवे, तो मस्कारा ऐसा ऋतिक रोशन एंड ऋतिक, आई थिंक स्लेयर का बहुत ही अच्छा पॉइंट है, बिकॉज जब ऋतिक रोशन आया था, बिकॉज वी वर आई गेस व्हाट 6 years old or something when कवाना प्यारा रिलीज्ड, राइट? तो उस टाइम पर जो ऋतिक रोशन का जो क्रेज था, बिकॉज आई थिंक फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम एन एंटायर कंट्री रियलाइज्ड that fuck, we've been gaslit into believing all these ugly dudes are good looking, because now a really good looking dude has shown up, and now we know what we were missing all these years. Humko Sanjay Dutt, okay, which is I'm not saying anything against sir, okay, but like not purely in terms
conventionally
Sanjay Dutt is good looking to men. I think it is like what a guy will be like, he's a good looking guy, and the woman would be like it's a little, how much, this is why he has to make all these outlandish claims like I've slept with 300 women जैसे वो संजू में वो कर, it's a bit of over compensation जो ऋतिक रोशन कभी बोलेगा नहीं अपने मुंह से कभी, ठीक है, ये बात उसका सबको पता है. तो anyway this is
वो बोलेगा नहीं, वो सोलेगा.
I think Amir.
crazy. Yeah.
हिमांशु क्या बोल रहा?
Yeah, I think Amir Khan na in the heydays of Pehla Nasha and the whole Andaz Apna Apna, I think that the chocolate boy look of Amir Khan. Abhi tak I don't think you can't compare, you know, I feel. No.
भाई और क्या बोला लोगों ने, जैसे सिड मल्होत्रा एक मेरे हिसाब से.
I think Skinny
Dalki
Salman. Skinny Salman was good looking.
Andaz Apna Apna is a very good looking movie, bro.
Yeah.
Amir and Salman together at that time, best time of their lives, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, I never kind of, I mean, again, men talking about men being attractive, but
तो क्या हो गया भाई, हमसे ज्यादा कौन जानता है? Who looks at naked men most often than us? मतलब हमारी खुद की bodies, you know, like.
गलत अपना वो स्केल ही गलत है फिर.
हाँ, correct, सही बात है. अब you're starting from a very bad note. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, कमल हसन धर्मेंद्र लिख रहा है मस्कारा, भाई क्या हो गया तेरे को?
नहीं, धर्मेंद्र वैसे भाई.
Come on.
Bro, good looking in his before pre-Sholay days.
I have
also
watched Chupke Chupke. I have watched all these movies. Please, come on.
भाई.
Hey, Dharmendra, good looking.
At this point, I'll just say, ask your mother.
Ask my grandmother, most likely.
Maybe grandmom.
Grandmother,
But 1970s, yeah.
It would be like your our
Grandmother.
moms also, I'm sure.
Yeah.
नहीं, not really. 1970 में वो शोले वोले निकली थी ना, तो तब तो
Correct.
I think
whatever यार
Amit
mom
ji ही थे तभी. Yeah. Mithun Da is not what.
अच्छा, let's shift back.
Coming back to the Oscars from good looking men topic. Yes.
Mithun really
Mithun पे आ गया and then we were like enough. Yeah. एक last point इस पर 360 shots ने बोला है विजय राज कुछ तो है बंदे में. I agree. Vijay Raj is a surprisingly very good looking man, I think.
Also with the white hair,
Yeah.
na?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
with the white hair, he
In
is
Delhi
shining.
Belly, dude, that fucking hairstyle in Delhi Belly with
भाई, तुम लोग क्या
the
बातें
swoop
कर रहे
back hair, it's pretty cool.
Bro, even Nawaz for that matter, मतलब in कहानी Nawaz looked killer, like in the sense almost like a killer, but like also
भाई तुम
very
लोग good looking से नवाज पे आए हो, मतलब.
But he is good looking. I think
he is
Nawaz
good looking. Very captivating face, I think.
Yeah.
He has a very good look, like, okay.
You're saying he's very good looking, not very good looking. Is that what you're
Got
saying?
time. Separate the
Good
words
one,
and
bro.
then
Yeah.
I think 10 वाला era का अभिषेक बच्चन was very good.
yeah. चलो नहीं Oscar
Yeah, this
pass
is
है.
now we're crossing some lines that should never be crossed. Okay, come on, let's not get ridiculous. So coming to best adapted screenplay, a category that has really hurt
यार
all of us because
देखी नहीं है मैंने.
हाँ, I know, but because Killers of the Flower Moon did not get nominated, American Fiction won it, and almost everyone has said that American Fiction is not a very good movie. Himanshu, I believe you've seen it.
मुझे लगता है अमेरिकन फिक्शन is वो ना नोमैड्स लैंड वाला जो है ना जोन वेयर
No Man's Land.
Nomadland
Nomadland.
इसकी आई थी.
where
It was a very good.
because Oscar is an American award show and like films that are about America
Yeah.
suddenly shine bright in that thing. तो मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है American fiction is like a nomad's land. Yeah, everybody who is not American, you'll not relate that hard. You'll not even look that deep into that movie. At least that's my opinion.
उस बंदे की speech अच्छी थी, but I like what the person said. He basically
Jeffrey.
What did he say, Bharat?
उसने
नहीं,
बेसिक जो उसका मेन, हाँ वो जेफरी नहीं था, उसका नाम
अरे भाई बता ना क्या बोला उसने. हाँ,
उसने बोला जो उसका मेन पॉइंट था कि भाई मिडिल बजट फिल्मों को भी मौका दिया जाए, सिर्फ ब्लॉकबस्टर या फिर एकदम मतलब एकदम ही इंडी, like the middle budget films which are kind of disappearing everywhere, even in
True.
India. तो
yeah,
उसके
dude.
लिए
In fact, आजकल because Bharat, fuck dude, your fucking mullet is really distracting every time you turn. No, I can see the full side profile. But so, bhai, I fucking forgot what I was about to say. Yeah, so right now
In India.
in India when we're like Bharat, we are trying to pitch a show together.
Yeah.
You're pitching a show separately. films that we are trying to pitch, and the one thing that, at least what I've heard in whatever conversations I've had, is that you're right, the middle budget is disappearing, and that everybody wants to go big. They don't mind
Big.
spending a lot of money, or they don't mind spending very little money. There is no sweet spot, which is a situation that it's almost like economically. I'm none of us are experts in this, but just a rudimentary understanding. Maybe it's just a way economy of any industry works. Ki all three cannot survive at one time. You can have to, like, there was a period between 2000 say 12 to 18 19 जब the middle budget films were ruling the roost. बरेली की बर्फी हो गई, स्त्री हो गई, कितनी सारी आई हैं ऐसी.
विकी डोनर से स्टार्ट हुआ था.
या विकी डोनर से शुरू हुआ था एग्जैक्टली. सो इतनी सारी ये वाली मूवीज आ गई, एंड आई थिंक नाउ दैट हैज lost its way, and now we're back to the bigger budget.
Which is why, if you think about it, the stars that were made then in the middle budget films have now disappeared, right? Ayushmann Khurrana का last film कौन सी
Action Hero,
which was very good. All of us
which
thought,
was great, and even Dr. G, which I think Himanshu liked.
I liked it. It's a good movie.
These are good films, but they just stopped working. Same
Rajkumar Rao has disappeared for a bit, na?
उसका बधाई दो was a good film, but it just didn't work.
Action Hero though, it made me very sad that it did not work, because it was such a well written movie. It was one of those movies ki, you would imagine that one of your friends in Warsaw तेरे को ये idea सुनाएगा, and everyone would be like, bro, this has everything. This has mass appeal, this has the cool niche idea, and it has great actors, it has everything going for it. It has an Akshay Kumar cameo which is very underrated and not spoken about enough, which was a great self-aware Akshay Kumar cameo tha wo. ठीक है? If you guys remember that.
Self-aware Akshay Kumar is a dangerous category, but still it's good.
Correct. So which was very sad. So yeah, this is extremely, anyway.
कोई और टॉपिक पर ऑस्कर का कोई और वो बताना
ऑस्कर का Poor Things won best production design, which is what I
very deserved.
Oh, we have to
do Zone of Interest was nominated or what for best production design?
Not sure. Why though? You liked it also, na?
I mean, production design में क्या what constitutes production design, I would want to know. I mean, but I think
Poor Things
in general cinematography and the way it was made, the house, and then like how the camp was shown. I feel like there is some production design element, right? So
dude, you know how they shot the film? उन्होंने घर पे basically 10-15 cameras लगा दिए. Actors को बोल दिया कि तुम्हें ये करना है, ये scene perform करना है, and then everybody went off set because the house was the set, and these cameras were operated remotely, not by camera people.
Oh
there.
Wow!
It was like it was shot like that. Only one focus puller was on set. Everybody else was just an actor. So, and it was like very heavily improvised. So all those camera tilts that you see, I mean,
pans.
There are no pans.
Yeah, there are no pans. Correct.
It's literally tracks. Sideway tracks. There is only sideway tracks. Otherwise, it's all still. Mostly 90% still frames. Yeah. Only maybe 10% sideway tracks. That's it. End of story.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating. The way it was shot was truly amazing. And मैंने last time भी कहा था that it's one of those that that last जो मैं अभी spoil नहीं करना था, but that final edit, the cut in the end, the one that crazy, it is one of the best cuts in the history of at least past 20 years of cinema at the very least. So
hey guys, sorry, I wanted to talk about one major discontentment that I had, which was the editing, the best editing win for Oppenheimer.
Yes, that is very odd. Very
for me,
very
it
odd.
was like कि भाई ये क्या किया तुमने, मतलब. And okay, so Avinash on the group had said something interesting which has stuck with me, and I'd like you all to have an opinion on this. But वो कह रहा था कि the edit of the film, again spoiler alert for Oppenheimer, thematic spoiler, which is that the editing of the film mimics the state of mind of the person, which is Oppenheimer. So Oppenheimer, when he's young, he's very restless and he's going from one thing to the other, and it's like helter skelter, everything is going around. So the edit also mimics that.
Correct.
The edit is also very random and very jarring, which I really found it jarring. I found it distracting to
same
after. And as he gets wiser in years, as he gets more responsible, as he gets more whatever, the edit mimics that as well. So I do not know. I did not catch this when I was watching it. If this is the case, great. But for me, at least, while I was watching it, it was not a great viewing experience, especially the first half of the film. First half, क्या मतलब half तो हम देखते हैं. But the initial 1 hour of the film was very choppy, in my opinion. Like it was just crammed in. You know? Things were just like one big montage. Basically.
I also felt towards the end of Oppenheimer, मतलब there is जैसे तू कह रहा था शुरू का restless hour, it was definitely distracting, but it was also very interesting to watch at least in the first hour, and the final hour was very well done. I think the middle hour was quite a bit of hodgepodge. A lot of unnecessary detail was there every now and then. Again, while I was watching the movie, I did not mind it because I don't mind long films and I don't mind listening to people talk. But just in terms of the way it was cut, as far as I remember, it wasn't anything fascinating. Which I would be interested to know what Zone of Interest nominated for it, because in that case, not just in sound but also in edit, it's the choices that Zone of Interest makes. Just to care, there's not much of camera movements, and it's the way it's shot is very interesting. So
let me check.
That's another very
मुझे तो जैसे हिमांशु ने लास्ट टाइम बताया था अबाउट किलर्स ऑफ द फ्लावर मून हाउ देयर आर लिटिल एडिट चॉइसेस दैट मेक इट वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. तूने बताया था ना हिमांशु कि कैसे लियो का कैरेक्टर at a certain point. You want to explain that?
Yeah, so Killers of the Flower Moon has some magical editing tricks. मुझे लगा मतलब it's not very obvious, but like what happens is they up until the point we for the longest time we are with Leo thinking he is helping, but he doesn't know that he's doing something wrong. We are thinking he's a good guy. मतलब our morality is with him, or maybe not, but like we are trying to understand if he is moral or not.
it's
But
not
the
fully
moment
with him, but yeah, to some extent you're right. Yeah, to some.
we are trying to say how much will he participate in, right? But then once he starts doing something criminal and we realize कि he has gone full all out, suddenly we realize कि flashbacks में we see कि previously also he was going full out, but हमें दिखाया नहीं था उन्होंने. मतलब basically he had murdered before, but we didn't know. Like
We had
they
not seen it.
We had not seen it. Then they show it again. They repeat a shot from a previous murder and we see कि okay, Leo has personally killed someone, like which was पहले नहीं दिखा के ना, they kind of kept us with him for a bit. So there were some important tricks. I think Zone of Interest also has some very important tricks with editing in
But
general.
it was not
मतलब
even nominated.
Bro,
don't
yeah,
know.
especially Killers of the Flower Moon. I mean, now that I'm thinking of it, the editing choices of, I keep going back to this, which is personally my अभी क्या स्कॉर्सेज़ी का क्या फेवरेट क्या वो, बट रेजिंग बुल में मैं पहले भी कह चुका हूँ, इट्स द एडिटिंग ऑफ रेजिंग बुल इज अ ग्रेट एग्जांपल वेयर देयर इज वन हार्श सीन, वन लाउड सीन where there's something violent happening, and next is a silent scene, like where something tender moment is happening, and it sort of cuts between these two, and that's also about Jake LaMotta's life, right? Because he swung in between these extremes. So I think in Killers of the Flower Moon, the cutaways to the Native Americans being murdered, in the shuru mein that top shot happens where there's a very tender scene between Lily and Leo, and
Sister.
then it cuts to वो ऐसा top shot जो the guy is choking, मतलब it's just a lot of those interesting choices जो स्कॉर्सेज़ी के हमेशा रहते हैं. स्कॉर्सेज़ी का even in डिपार्टेड, यू रिमेंबर जब वो शुरू में उसको जब ये जैक निकलसन पैसे देता है हाथ में, देयर इज अ उसका हाथ आता है, देन देयर इज अ कट एंड देन द मनी कम्स इन, व्हिच इज अ वेरी अनसेटलिंग. सेम चीज इन शटर आइलैंड. उसने if you guys remember Shutter Island में in the beginning there is not exactly editing, but there is a shot where this woman जिससे वो बात कर रहा है शुरू में, they're interviewing one of those mental patients, right? And she's drinking water from a glass, but there is no glass in her hand. Okay, if you watch it again, there's just no it's just very interesting choices, and the shots that he puts in are so fascinating.
Can I make a case for Oppenheimer winning best editing?
Yes.
I have a feeling that it's an honorary award.
That's
because
not a justification.
No, because I'll tell you, if you look at Nolan's movies in general, not only do they all look the same in color,
Right.
not only do they all feel the same in writing, but they all feel the same in editing, and there is a universal connection. and edit. I feel कि the way Nolan achieves it is by writing the edit into the script, because Nolan, if you remember Memento, Prestige, if you watch those movies again, the way it's supposed to be edited is written into the script. You can tell because it's like एक shot के बाद दूसरा shot आना पड़ेगा. अगर next shot नहीं आया तो पहला shot का मतलब नहीं होता. Like if when Christian Bale's character का spoil नहीं करना चाहता यार मैं Prestige, but अगर जब भी कुछ
अरे
information release
प्रेस्टीज के लिए स्पॉइलर, द प्रेस्टीज स्पॉइलर भाई कर दे. प्रेस्टीज इतने साल पहले आई है.
काफी टाइम हो गया अभी, और धूम 3 सबने देख ली.
when they're talking about, when the opening of Prestige is about, you know, this magic का भी एक वो होता है ना, like there's a 3 stages of
Setup
it
and all that.
so then they cutting to stuff, right? And you realize this is all written. You can't like just find it and edit. All this has to be short, right? So even in Oppenheimer, when end में जब Einstein को मिलने जाता है, there and he says कि do you think what we did was fine, or what have we done to the, and he says like I've seen pages of the last scene where it's written ki you see raindrops on the pond which look like missiles on Earth, you know, like on the stratosphere. So I feel like he wrote down shots in the edit, right? So this is Nolan really, like, I think pulling the strings on the edit. So it's I think this is, if 10 movies have the same style of editing, and now everybody else in the world is trying to copy, because Inception onwards everybody got into that train na, Nolan ka jo editing.
Right.
So I have a feeling that chalo this it deserves now, maybe for the right movie.
Correct. Yeah, in that sense you're right, because he does have a very specific style. One thing I wanna, and this is also a plug at the same time for the Discontent WhatsApp group. If you would like to talk to us about movies all the time, you can become a member on the channel. There are 2 tiers. There is broker and there is party. Broker से आपको WhatsApp group में entry मिलेगी हमारे, and party membership से you can come on the channel. Like I think last time Amanpreet became our second party member. So Amanpreet, you can join us on the podcast soon. We will text Amanpreet about potentially joining us in the next episode on the one or on the one after that, whenever they choose to. And with that, we also do other fun stuff in the WhatsApp group. So, because we have to give a shout out, we would be remiss if we don't give a shout out to firstly Aditya Nair, who is a member of the channel and in the WhatsApp group. He went through the effort of compiling a list of predictions of all the members. At least 21 members, including the 3 of us, participated in predicting wins for the Oscars. And he went about compiling this list. He made it into a proper sheet, and he announced the results as well, which included the name, predictions, and the number of movies watched. So starting from the number of movies watched, Atul Papneja had watched 26 movies, and the next highest was 21, which was Amanpreet. And Atul also had the highest number of prediction, which was 18, tied with Dhruvin, who also got 18, but he's in second position because he watched 14 movies. So Atul and Dhruvin won this, and Aditya Nair did the compilation of the whole thing, and that was a lot of fun. So thank you guys, and shout out to you guys. And we have
thank you so much.
the 3 of us owe some sort of prize to all 3 of you, which we will figure out amongst ourselves.
मैं अतुल से कुछ पूछना चाहता था. I know he might not be watching right now, but if I'm not wrong, he's not in India right now, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Right? I don't know. मतलब ऐसे मेरे को लगा, क्योंकि बातों से जो भी ग्रुप में जब भी, I feel like he's not exactly here, and I feel like the reason why he's watched most movies is because he's gotten the opportunity to watch them properly.
This is the Guwahati envy coming out.
नहीं, but I just wanted to know if that's the case. क्या उसमें सारी क्योंकि सारी movies तो है ही नहीं available. How did he watch like 18 of them? Correct. I can't find them. So
18 नहीं 26.
26 कैसे देख ली? मुझे भी समझ में नहीं आ रही. I want to know if he did it the right way, like theater में hall में जाके, because I'm sure कि if he was somewhere else,
you want to see कि यहाँ पर मतलब कोई ball tampering तो नहीं हुई है इस tournament में, तो तू umpiring कर रहे. But yeah, we do these kind of things, and we do want to do a lot more of this stuff. We are amongst the 3 of us, we are discussing how to grow the channel and the podcast, and maybe doing a lot more stuff. So do become a member. It's a fun time right now, and yeah, it helps us also keep this going. I think the last 2 episodes से तो लोग super chat भी दे रहे हैं, तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा motivation भी आता है.
Thank you.
I think we can finish the Oscar conversation right now, unless there's any other category
Bhai,
that you all want to
nahin.
specifically talk about.
I also have to leave.
Give us 15 minutes, because a short topic that we can talk about. Bharat, क्या कहता है?
Okay.
तो
Zone of Interest का ending का बात करना है क्या? Then we can,
हमने काफी
because that'll wrap up Oscars.
We spent a lot of time on Oscars. I just really want to go to the next topic, because एक घंटा हो गया, हमने Zone of Interest काफी बात की. We can also, maybe we can do an episode on Jonathan Glazer and other filmmakers like that. तो जब भी ये पूरा season खत्म हो जाएगा, तो we can do that, and once more people have watched the movie as well. So maybe next week or next week we might do this. So go watch Zone of Interest and maybe other Jonathan Glazer movies. The other topic I want to talk to you about, which is happening in India right now, and this is not exactly cinema related, but I do think it is fun to approach this, because last time when Himanshu's left, okay,
Light चली गई.
हाँ,
Anyway.
तो पिछली बार जब जनरल इलेक्शंस हुए थे इंडिया में, जब लोकसभा इलेक्शंस हुए थे 2019, this podcast was alive तब भी, and I remember Bharat and I had done a लोकसभा के ऊपर episode, and even then there was a lot of propaganda movies, right, that had come out, so which we had watched a bunch of them. This time also there are even more movies
भाई,
this time around.
अब तो पूरा film festival, propaganda film festival हो सकता है.
अब तो full हो सकता है. तो एक सेकंड हिमांशु, अगर तू म्यूट कर दे अपने आप को जब तक तू वापस नहीं आता, इफ यू आर कमिंग बैक और नॉट. सो
I think he's on mute only. Yeah.
हाँ, तो बेसिकली व्हाट आई वाज सेइंग वाज कि because there are so many movies, I think a new one has just come out, which is called what, the Buster story. हाँ,
The Buster story.
the Buster story. And Bharat, have you seen the trailer for this movie?
Yeah.
I think we should talk about this stuff also, because we are not a fluff film podcast. I would like to believe we would like to delve into these things as well. So
हाँ, मतलब yeah.
The-
We've been vocal about this on our on our group as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, and अभी एक और फिल्म आने वाली है, by the way, the
JNU.
Savarkar.
Savarkar
नहीं,
plus
सावरकर तो अभी आ रही है, और हाँ, and सावरकर का, if you see the promo and all, it seems to be well produced and all of that. You know, it's not, it's one level above in at least the production than like a Buster story, or मतलब Buster story में है कि हाँ, मतलब it's almost like gratingly obvious, right? Even Savarkar is, for that matter, but it at least tries to make it appear polished or cool.
If Savarkar is anything like Thackeray, where they are not lying and
You're talking about
trying,
Thackeray the movie, just to be clear. Yeah.
yes, Thackeray the movie,
हाँ.
then maybe it makes sense to watch that movie, right?
I mean, it
Why
makes it why I think Himanshu ने पहले ही बोल चुका है that he liked Thackeray the movie. I thought Thackeray was a terrible movie to begin with. It's just that कि तुम black and white थोड़ा कर दो और you get a very good actor in the lead, so that's a different thing. But anything is elevated from that. मैं देखी है. तो but right now the one that
वो
is,
लोग कभी भी वो नहीं, I'm not saying it's a good movie. ये नहीं बोला था मैंने. I didn't like it also. All I'm saying is that they were wearing their opinions on their sleeve, and it was not a lie. Like it didn't feel, they didn't like try to manipulate the audience. It was clearly their opinion was
bro,
out.
they had a guy reading the namaz in front of Bal Thackeray in that movie. So
there were some scenes, I get you. I
that's
don't
not-
remember everything in
it
detail,
is
but I
straight
won't,
up,
मैं उसका
come on.
part नहीं ले रहा. मैं वो नहीं बोल रहा कि it's a good movie or they're right. I don't care about that. What I'm saying is कि when they approached the movie, they didn't maybe whitewash, like it's not like a Sanju or whatever. I'm
भाई
not
उसमें
comparing, but
नहीं तू गलत, तू वापस से आके देख ले एक बार, क्योंकि उसमें there is a white wash क्या भाई, उसमें double white coating किया गया है. There is a scene in that movie where the main character says कि this is based in the 70s or 60s whenever, and he says कि ये when the Communist Party was very popular in Bombay, कि ये लाल बंदर का कुछ करना पड़ेगा, and the next shot is a CPI leader getting murdered, okay, and then it's shown as a victory for this guy, and then when later his own person dies in some other thing, he has this very heavy dialogue कि ये जो मेरे कंधे पर है ना, ये तुम्हारे जनतंत्र का जो भी है वो, डेमोक्रेसी इज बैड इज व्हाट यू ट्राइंग टू से, एंड दैट्स व्हाई माय पर्सन गॉट किल्ड. तो when they're killing somebody else, it's not, then it's all cool. But when that person is killed, so it's not, it's fucking whitewashing. At the same time, right now the movie that has come out, the reason I bring this up is the way the Overton window is. I think इसके ऊपर लोग पेपर लिखेंगे at some point कि the way the Overton window is shifting in India politically, you can tell that through the right-wing movies that are coming out. You know, where when during the last election जब वो ये विवेक ओबरॉय वाली नरेंद्र मोदी मूवी आई थी, द मूवी नरेंद्र मोदी, वेर या सो वो आई थी, तो देयर ही इज सेइंग कि मेरा गुजरात जल रहा है, लाइक ही फील्स बैड अबाउट you know the rights, and none of us are making any comments about this, it's just that he feels bad about, that's the character saying that. Now when we have this movie Buster wali, where the main character in the trailer is saying कि इन जितने भी लेफ्ट लिबरल लोग हैं इन लोग को सड़क पे लाके ठोक देना चाहिए, ठीक है. तो the way that has shifted, you know, कि it is a little ridiculous. And
you know, it's kind of like what Himanshu only said, maybe in a different context, but what he said was कि to a certain extent ठाकरे फिल्म में भी जैसा है वैसा दिखाया, and that is why, like, but that is wrong, you get what I'm saying, like saying it like it is but it's bad.
Yeah.
So, and but you are saying it because you know that people will cheer for you, people will cheer for your badness, you know.
I've always, nobody says it like it is a, जैसे ये अभिषेक उपमन्यु का बहुत अच्छा जोक है, you know, कि जब भी उसका एक बहुत सही जोक था where he said कि this is out there, this is not from a live show, तो I can say it, where he says कि कभी कोई भी बोलता है कि ज़रा साइड में कुछ बात करनी है, तो कभी कोई भी ढंग की बात नहीं करता, कुछ घटिया बात ही बोलता है, कोई ऐसे नहीं बोलता किधर है दे रहा, गरीबों की मदद करते हैं, ऐसा उसका कुछ तो जोक है. तो इसमें भी when people say ना कि this guy says it like it is, Donald Trump says it like it is, Sandeep Reddy Vanga says it like it is, it's always shit things only. It's like, oh, your mother's ugly. अरे भैंचोद क्या है ये, मतलब you know, it's always some ridiculous thing that nobody wants to hear, and oh wow, you're a truth teller because you're saying it like it is.
Also, you know? Also जैसे the shift being that नरेंद्र मोदी वाली फिल्म में you have to portray him as the beacon of goodness, right?
Yeah.
But यहाँ पे ये है कि नहीं, हम जो गलत बोल रहे हैं उस पे लोग cheer करेंगे.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
अगर तुम बोलोगे कि इनको तो सड़क पे लाके मारना चाहिए, people will cheer on that, right? Because those are the kind of statements we've मतलब our society has cheered, which is the देश के गद्दारों को गोली मारो.
Yeah. In fact, I went to Dharamshala right now to watch the test match. I was lucky enough. So, by the way, I would recommend whenever there is a test series in India, I would very highly recommend, अगर एक स्टेडियम में आपको मैच देखना चाहिए, इज द धर्मशाला क्रिकेट स्टेडियम. इट्स लाइक द व्यू इज ब्यूटिफुल. डेफिनेटली बाय अ टिकट इन द वेस्ट स्टैंड और ईस्ट स्टैंड, कि वहाँ से आपको माउंटेन्स का व्यू दिखता है, ऑपोजिट साइड से आपको नहीं दिखेगा आई थिंक. तो एंड उसके बाहर जो व्हेन यू गो अप टू द स्टेडियम, देयर इज़ अ फोटो ऑफ अनुराग ठाकुर एंड देयर इज़ अ फोटो ऑफ अनदर गाय जो IPL का चेयरमैन है, एंड देयर इज मोस्टली उनके फोटोज़ हैं, and there Ben Stokes, Rohit Sharma कहीं पे साइड में लगे हुए हैं, and when you enter the stadium there's a massive mural of Anurag Thakur, right at the entry. मतलब इतना बड़ा mural है वो, it's crazy. तो anyway, that's a side note. But right now I think हमने कश्मीर फाइल्स के पे बात की थी, that because Bollywood loves a replicable, easily replicable model. I think that's why a lot of these movies, जैसे अभी JNU करके एक मूवी आने वाली है, which is they've called Jahangir National University, which is, you know, हम लोग बात करते हैं कि जैसे brevity is very valuable in writing, you know, कि आप छोटी सी बात में आप बहुत बड़ी बात कहते हो, तो आपने एक ही साथ में आपने जहांगीर नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी कह दिया उसको, और वो लेफ्ट वाला वो तो है ही उसके साथ JNU में, प्लस उसके साथ आप जेल भी नहीं जाओगे बिकॉज यू आर टेक्निकली नॉट अलाउड टू से JNU, राइट. जैसे कश्मीर फाइल्स में उसने ANU कर दिया था उसको, सो JNU भी आपने कह दिया उसको, आपने उसको जहांगीर भी कर दिया, और लेफ्ट वाला तो लेफ्ट है ही. तो इट्स वेरी जीनियस राइटिंग आई थिंक इन माई ओपिनियन, तो ऑन दैट फ्रंट. तो a lot of and at this point the other thing I want to talk about, which is very cinematic to me, and the reason we've put bonds in our title, is that the electoral bonds that have come out right now, I'm not going into that. We're not fucking journalists. But
Himanshu, but do you know what has happened?
या देखा मैंने, लोगों ने मेरे को वो PDF फाइल्स सबके WhatsApp पे आ चुके हैं.
The PDF files next.
yeah,
week.
did not do the PDF.
The PDF files. आनी चाहिए यार.
हाँ, ये सब movie. We should make these parodies. I think we should start making. Maybe Discontent can produce a low budget parody like this. Some dash file, you know. Some.
और उसमें किसी एक अरविंद का नाम है. ₹1000
And we can do like a, you know, whatever Premiere Pro file that gets corrupted, and हमारे हिसाब से इसमें कुछ अंतरराष्ट्रीय फोर्सेस का हाथ है इसमें. तो जब भी वो मीडिया वो आ जाता है ना, मीडिया करप्ट फाइल हो जाती है वो प्रीमियर प्रो में, तो वैसा हम लोग कर सकते हैं. वी कैन मे बी मेक अ full feature length film. Maybe Vipul Amrutlal Shah, husband of Shivali Shah, will fund us also for the same. Which is such a great game those two are playing, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the same time,
आप
लेफ्ट से आइए, आप एसवी रोड, आप हाईवे से आइए, मैं जुहू से आता हूँ बेसिकली. वैसा तो वैसा सीन है वो. जाना दोनों को साउथ बॉम्बे ही है, which is so telling. Both of them will make a lot of money from this, so which is very cool. The reason I bring out the bonds is because it is one of those stories that is, you know, I'm interested to know whether you can make a movie on something like this, because it's such a fascinating film story. It's literally, अगर आपने स्पेशल 26 देखी है, मेरे को पूरा टाइम उसकी याद आ रही थी, बिकॉज स्पेशल 26 में वो क्या करते हैं, वो जाते हैं, वो किसी को रेड करते हैं, उसकी फट जाती है तो उससे ब्राइब लेके वो लोग निकल लेते हैं. ठीक है, माल लेके निकल जाते हैं. भाई ये लिटरली वो है, बट दिस इज द रियल वाला CBI.
हाँ, उसमें मतलब कि इनकम टैक्स फर्जी थे.
हाँ,
इसमें रियल इनकम टैक्स वाले सेम काम करते हैं,
which is very
ये मजा है.
hilarious. And in general, what I see right now with social media and very cinematically, how what in my opinion is going to end up being the next the future of our country, which is going to be the future of India's politicians. I think they're going to increasingly come from an online space. And the reason I say this is because जैसे अभी I don't know if any of y'all followed the Elvish Yadav this thing.
I did.
I very involuntarily, but it was fascinating when I went down that rabbit hole. ठीक है, हिमांशु, do you know what?
पता है क्या वो झगड़ा किया ना उसने, बाद में पता चला म्यूजिक वीडियो बनाता है, यही ना?
झगड़ा किया उसने.
म्यूजिक
वीडियो कौन सा है?
Whom are you guys talking about?
Elvish Yadav.
झगड़ा ही किया था, पर म्यूजिक वीडियो बनाया, ये क्या था?
Yeah, it's basically a PR stunt for a music video.
नहीं भाई.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
नहीं.
Yeah, the music video is out. I think it is out. They both are in it. It was for that. It is a Poonam Pandey. They pulled off a Poonam Pandey.
Oh damn! This I didn't know.
No, they got together again. There is another guy called Rajat Dalal, and that guy did the sulah between these two.
Oh.
Okay, make no jokes about this guy, because this guy went down the rabbit hole and he's a Haryana ka power lifter, and he threatens to bring 30 guys at the drop of a hat to beat you up. Okay, so this is that guy. The thing that fucking 15-year-olds do in Bombay, at least जब मैं बच्चा तब ये होता था, तो this is a grown ass man, 30-year-old, who gets a bunch of people to beat you up. Okay, which is just a hilarious thing. Imagine being fucking 35 and calling somebody कि भाई लफड़ा हो गया. अभी कौन है भाई दूसरे साइड पे? Who are these free ass people? तो why I'm saying this is because I think जैसे ओमकारा में था ना पहले कि स्टूडेंट यूनियन से निकलते हैं, वो थोड़े बहुत गुंडे बन जाते हैं, they get into some kind of illegal business, earn a lot of money, then they become bahubalis and they become politicians. That's the pipeline. I think now that pipeline is genuinely becoming a social media track. There is a proper Hindutva pop, you know, where the Hindutva pop music. There are these YouTubers like Elvish Yadav and all of these guys I mentioned, and उनके जो opinions है वो ऐसे gems है ना, वो opinions, if you ever hear them, you'll be like, this is exactly why everyone comes to cities like Bombay and Bangalore and Delhi, you know, to
leave this all behind.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it'll be very interesting, and the reason I bring this up again is कि Himanshu, I don't know if you remember, Bharat, that we had written a script almost 7 years ago, which was about
which was this.
Literally this, and I feel like this is a good time to maybe work on that stuff also, and maybe resurrect that screenplay. because it was literally this stuff that is happening right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I would recommend highly to people to go down this rabbit hole because it is fucking fascinating the way this stuff happens. It is, I think there is only a matter of time before people catch on to this and it goes into the mainstream as a documentary or a movie that is very, that blows everyone's mind, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, any of you
Do you
have
think Elvish Yadav will get like a ticket or something? Is that what
He
you
will.
guys are?
I think he will in
I'm
a few
sure he
years. In a few years.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Matlab, this is a foregone conclusion, as they say, right? Whatever.
Chalo, theek hai.
In though,
Dekhte
although
hain.
he got arrested today for a snake venom case.
But that's okay. That's powerful.
Yeah, that's तो थोड़ा बहुत
That's
नशे तो
the
सही है.
entrance वाला जो होता है ना, ये initiation ceremony बोलते हैं इसको.
भाई.
Wait,
और
Rajat
उसका video-
Rajat Dalal was arrested yesterday, bro. But this is the pipeline. You gotta go to jail
उसका video-
once. Come
yeah,
on.
उसका video देखा ना जेल में जाते हुए. He's like chit chatting and laughing with the cops going. It's like very chill. It's like a stroll, dude.
ये पहले भी कुछ हुआ था ना, कोई तो बंदे को अरेस्ट किया था किसी ने, and
उसने
then
गमला चुराया था ये बाद में. एल्विश यादव ने CWC
allegedly उसके गाड़ी
देख
से
उसकी
yeah.
गाड़ी का नंबर एलिजिबल
हाँ.
नहीं है, वो रियली उसकी
Correct.
गाड़ी का था. अब
Correct.
उसने पर्सनली चुराया हो तो भाई बहुत ही
हाँ.
खुद्दू वाली बात है, बट ठीक है.
Correct.
उसकी गाड़ी ने कोई CWG या कौन सा किसी इवेंट का
हाँ.
गमला चुरा के ले गया अपने गाड़ी में. सो एनीवे
Haryana is Haryana. Haryana is not for beginners, you know, as they say. मैं उस दिन अमृतसर में भी था. अमृतसर में भी some guy stopped his Audi. Okay, stopped his Audi to like एक पतंग लटकी हुई थी at a street light. Stopped the car in the middle of the traffic, got out, took the kite. Everyone's chilling, and I'm like, dude, this is why people come to Bombay. Nobody has a. If you get out of your car and stop traffic in Bombay to pick a kite, you will be murdered. Okay, for sure you are getting run over. The fake news, Rahul 360 has said. Yes, fact checker. So, yeah, so that
अरे
is.
चलो, मुझे
I just
जल्दी
think,
भागना है.
हाँ, correct.
Yeah.
So let's just run from here after this little political conversation. But yeah, thank you
Yeah.
guys for joining us, and I would highly recommend you guys also to follow this saga a little bit because it's fascinating. I think
Yeah.
it has scope for immense cinema moments. Okay, so this is a good episode. Any quick recommendations before we leave?
यार इंद्रानी मुखर्जी वाला देखा था डॉक्यूमेंट्री मैंने, but it's not good.
Oh, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good in the sense there is no revelation. It's like they waste 4 episodes of your life, matlab almost 4 hours of your life by just repeating what you already know and just like elongating the whole thing. Though the story itself is crazy. The story is crazy, but we already knew the story. They don't really reveal anything, and they end में बोलते हैं हाँ सब जुड़े से नहीं बोल सकते, खत्म का.
Bro, but she's been getting a lot of flack for. मैंने ये वाली नहीं देखी, but I had followed the case when it had happened, and it was very like out there that she was responsible. You know,
तुम देखोगे ना वो अभी भी लग रही है. It looks like she is very easily, मतलब her face and her expressions and her body language is very suggestive. It's very highly manipulative.
what
She,
the fuck, bro? What
मेरे
is
को
with
ऐसा लग रहा है she
Netflix?
clearly did it.
Yeah.
She clearly did it. Because you know sometimes people lie when they and when they lie they blink or something. There is a bit of a tell.
Right.
She has a very big tell. Like it's like every time she lies, she just blinks. She just looks away, and then
She's
she
also
can't look at
selling
the
her
camera.
book. She's selling her book, and that's why they're doing this. She
Really?
came at India Today ka conclave also.
What the
She's
what?
written a book and everything, I think. Yeah.
Bro, what the fuck?
This is literally like OJ का जब किया था उसने लिखा था if I did it. He had written a book.
Oh, if छोटा कर दिया था.
वो जब पेरेंट्स के हाथ में आया था तब उन्होंने if एकदम छोटा कर दिया था उसका. Yeah. Bharat, any of your recommendations?
यार अभी तो ऐसा सच मैंने कुछ देखा नहीं apart from the Oscar films. I saw a terrible film again called Yodha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have so because I gave you guys this recommendation to go down this right-wing YouTuber rabbit hole, which I found fascinating, and I'm certainly gonna go deeper into this. I would like to recommend a YouTube channel I really like, Indian YouTube channel called Normies React. It's called Not Funny Rohan, I think is Rohan Kariappa, jo he does music reviews and stuff. Very funny guy, and uska channel hai where he does Normies React. Him and 2 of his friends, who are one of them is a really old guy, like middle-aged guy, not old, and they are not as attuned to internet culture as young people are. तो he shows them videos and they react to it and it's very funny. तो उसमें they have a 2-part show on Rajat Dalal का एक previous beef that had happened with another power lifter, and it is insane and it's hilarious. It is very good stuff. I don't like reaction videos normally. I'm a proper hater, on that front. Let's be real. But these guys are very funny. I think the way they've structured their show is very cool. So yeah, shout out to those guys. Also, if you go there and watch it, fucking say came here from Discontent. Okay, use our recommendations for good. Also, somebody has said, please, Sunny Kumar Bhardwaj Sunny has said, I'm right wing, love you guys. Okay, so
I think he's correct. He's joking.
yeah,
I think he's joking.
I hope so. And हाँ, क्योंकि अगर आप लोग ये एक्सपेक्ट करो कि हम लोग टॉलरेंट है, मैं तो नहीं हूँ भाई टॉलरेंट, ठीक है, मैं बहुत इनटॉलरेंट हूँ. तो एंड वन सेकेंड, किसी ने तो बोला था कि रेगुलर अभी, हाँ, 360 शॉर्ट सेट प्लीज़ रेगुलरली आया करो अभी. एंड आई थिंक हमारे लिए ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि एट द एंड ऑफ एवरी एपिसोड गोइंग फॉरवर्ड वी कमिट दैट वी आर गोइंग टू फकिंग डू एन एपिसोड. हम कब अपना अगला अप्रॉक्सीमेटली कब करेंगे. हमने लास्ट टाइम भी आपको कहा था दैट आई वाज गोइंग ऑन अ हॉलीडे, सो देयर वाज अ बिट ऑफ अ लॉन्गर गैप, बट स्टिल वी केम बैक अराउंड द सेम टाइम. सो next week we can do one on either 23rd or 24th, which is either next Saturday or Sunday or Friday.
Yeah, 23rd, 24th works.
So next weekend, basically between 22nd and 24th, you can expect another episode. If you want us to do an episode on something specific, please comment down below and let us know. Membership ka deal, you know everything about everything. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, good night.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Good night.